Well, I know it's been a while since I've done one of these. Been a bit busy, sometimes with work, and sometimes just with my brain. And it's been real rampant lately. So I decided to get out. And I'm up on Pickle Gulch and Michigan Trail today. I actually went out here last weekend with some friends and had a grand old time. Got myself fairly stuck in a snowbank, even though it is June. And we got me unstuck, and then we continued on and saw some beautiful things. I am circumventing Pickle Gulch a little bit to get around that little bit of a sticky area. So I went up on Michigan Hill, and I'm coming back down, hopefully to avoid some more of that, even though there is still some snow out on the ground right now. And what I'm hoping to do tonight is just get to an ideal campsite that I saw the last time I was out here and camp for the night. So we'll see what happens with that. There's plenty of mud on the bumpers from the initial mud bog that you have to get through to get on Pickle Gulch right now. And it has gotten considerably worse over the last couple of days. I don't know how. I didn't think that many people would have come through. It really wasn't all too busy when we came out here last weekend. But somehow it got worse, and I managed to bump my front bumper and bend my license plate a little bit, so that's showing some wear and tear now. But otherwise, it's a nice day. It's about 60 degrees outside, a little bit of a breeze. I know it's going to be stronger up top, but I do not want to sacrifice views for some wind. It's not like I haven't experienced wind before. In fact, I think in my last video, we got to see a lot of wind. So, yeah, I think it's going to be okay today. Now this looks fun. Fortunately, these tracks are pretty worn in and not too bad, if not a little bumpy and a little muddy as I rub my frame against some snow there. But I'm still in fourth and just crawling along in four low. And the suspension's doing its work to keep me as level as possible, which, as you're probably seeing, isn't that level. But it's doing well. There are a lot of things running through my mind. I never thought I would be the type to have a midlife crisis, but I think that's kind of where it's at right now. In the last video, or the couple videos ago, I was out skiing, and I think I told you all about how I managed to land a job. And then I lost that job. There was a gross misrepresentation of what I was being sold on doing versus what I was actually going to do. And I was not happy about it, and it was stressing me out a lot, so we parted ways. And then I had some other things happen in my life that have just left me feeling a little bit untethered. Now, I've made great friends with the 4x4 club that I'm a part of. Shout out, 4 Players of Colorado. If you don't know about them, check them out. And I'm trying to figure out what's next. Now, of course, I could try to pursue the ever infamous creator pathway of things, putting videos together, editing them, showing off the great parts of Colorado and beyond. But I don't know. I just don't know anymore. And for the first time in my life, I'm feeling that, and I feel okay with it. And that is something I don't know how to feel about. Did you like my high-tech leveling kits? They're from the Stone Age. Sorry, that was bad. I can hear thunder in the distance. I don't know if I will see lightning here. I'm at the top of a mountain right now, more or less. I'm sitting at just above 10,400 feet right now. And it's stormy looking. There's some clouds off that way that I'm getting a shot of right now. And yeah, I'm just here to contemplate, such as it is. But it's nice out. Yeah, it's nice out.
These are the moments that I chase. I have the scenery. I have myself. I get to have the experience. I have the camera in front of me for practice. This is one of the few things that helps me forget about everything else and helps quiet the war that I have within myself. Because, honestly, I've been waging a war constantly since I was very young, and it grows tiring. So I find the space, the feeling of the cool breeze gracing my skin, the potential tempest in the horizon that is stronger than me and reminds me that it is possible to enjoy these moments, that it's okay to be afraid, to be sad, that it's okay to be hopeful. And in these moments, I get to forget about that inner struggle, and I get to experience views like this.
So, you can probably hear it a bit. It's still a little windy up on the top here. And of course, it should be, because it is the top of a mountain. So I'm contemplating getting back down and camping away from the wind. I think it's on the lee of the mountain. You'll have to correct me, but it's beautiful up here right now. Sun's coming out. I mean, there's still some clouds working their way through. There might be another storm that comes through here in the next hour or so, but it's not bad. It's not bad. And this is exactly the type of space that gives me contemplation and what I need. So I just gotta take the time. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now. So, as you can probably hear, it is still very windy up here, and I don't know that it's gonna calm down anytime soon. And like I mentioned, being at the top of a mountain, there's a good chance it won't let up all night. I'll do one last check of the weather report because I do have reception up here. But if the wind is not going to dissipate, then it's going to be back down the mountain. I'm working on charging batteries, making sure my remote's charged, and just thinking about life. I'm going to go on a trip soon. I'm not going to say where or when, just because I want to disconnect for a while and figure out what I need to do with life. I've gotten better about being angry, and I think that's largely due to the medication that I've been put on, and that helps me settle down a bit, and I don't get as anxious or as angry as easily. But one of the things that hasn't changed is how defeated I still feel. I have fought with myself constantly all my life, and it's hard not to say, you know what? It was a good run. I did what I could. And I know I shouldn't give up, but jobs are difficult to get right now. The economy's turning to shit. And I feel like my money that I have in savings is an hourglass. And each dollar that ticks away is a grain of sand that goes down to the bottom. I mean, yeah, if content creation took off, great. I wouldn't make nearly as much money, but I could live on the road and do that. But it's hard not to just say, fuck it. So I'll take that trip and see if I can get myself restarted. But for now, it's time to look at the weather report. See what's going on with the wind tonight. Well, it's going to get windier. So I guess it's back down the mountain we go. Oh well. So I use Onyx Off-Road, and it took me a little while to figure out how to work with it because there are a lot of features in there that are kind of layered. But once I got the hang of it, I was able to really understand what I did and didn't need to do with it for my own purposes. And no, this isn't sponsored by Onyx, but I wanted to show you guys what I'm looking at here. So you'll see these breadcrumbs here that are dotted in red. And this was the run that I did last weekend with the club. We started off all the way down here, and I made a camp spot, which was real easy to get to with a mud hole that was a little bit further up the road. In fact, I might just add a waypoint here to say mud hole. And that way, if there is a need for me to remember that next time, because it was hard to get through today, I will do so. So we're just going to leave that there. But I did start here, and we cut over and kept on Pickle Gulch, and down here near these private properties is where I got stuck last time. So what I did was I ended up going up Michigan Hill today, coming around, and this is where some of the snowy stuff was. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting, and then rejoined on Pickle Gulch and ended up here. So what I think I'm going to do is just trace my steps back and look for some camp spots that are along here that give me a good view looking south. So that way we have a nice place to sleep tonight, wake up with a great view in the morning, get some breakfast, and then work on heading home. And I think that is going to be the plan.
I tend to make plans for the sake of breaking them. I was going to turn right, and then I decided to turn left. On my first adventure out of the country, I had the experience where I had nothing else planned, and a week and a half before I had to return home. So I got on my iPad and looked at cities and said, hey, I want to go there. I packed up my backpack, went to the train station, got a ticket, and went on my way. It was one of the most liberating feelings I've ever experienced. And I find it important to continue to interject those types of choices in life from time to time, because it makes things just that much better. And it's important to live for those.
So I decided to go the other way because I figured I'm already this close to the other side of the mountain. Maybe the wind will reduce as I get lower in elevation, and maybe if I can get in some tree line, then I won't have to worry about getting up in the morning, dealing with the mud bog on the way out, going down Apex Road, and then heading to Black Hawk after that. So I decided to go this way, and it will be a little bit snowier on this side. We got to see that this weekend. Some of it might have melted off a little bit more, but hopefully this will also lead us to some rather neat campsites. There is one that I did see on the way down that was a little bit off of the road, and I hope it is undisturbed. And when we get there, we'll see if it is empty. In the meantime, just time to enjoy some driving. There's something to be said for romping through some old spring snow. And water is definitely running off the road. It is melting. And I tried checking the spot that I was thinking of, but unfortunately all of that runoff was pooling down at the bottom of the spot that I wanted to go to. So what that meant was that I didn't have anything but the wet spot that I would park in, and there was a massive drain tank there that was very green. So what that would have meant was if there was no wind, there's a chance that I would have been dealing with a lot of insects, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So we're continuing down the mountain back toward Moon Gulch, and we'll see if there's anything worthwhile that I might be able to pick up between here and there. Kind of doubtful, but we'll double check. And I am gonna maybe take a way that we didn't go last week and see if it yields any fruitful results. We'll see. I'll tell you what. It's tempting to just park right down there for the night. It's so open though. All right. Let's consult Onyx. That's closed. Bunch of private property. That's probably snow. All right, let's just have a look down here.
As the day wore on, the clouds would form another storm that would help transform the landscape. The darkness set in, shutting out the sun for a little while, reflecting the tempest that I always talk about. But going through any of these storms despite the hail or the thunder often yields something more dramatic, more ethereal afterward. And for turning left instead of right, I was rewarded with it. This panorama. These are the things that fuel my onward journey. This is the kind of thing that will help keep me alive. Because when I breathe in that air, when I feel the slight afterthought of rain as it passes when the brunt of it has come through, when I hear nothing else but this earth, it becomes something that washes away everything, if not for a while. This is what I seek. This is what I wish to share with you. This is me.